my show once again. Today I have a special guest on the show. She goes by the name Ty. Say hey, Ty.
Hey,
I just
hey
want to thank
y'all.
you for taking the time out your day to join my show. It does mean a lot to me. Before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm Ty. I am a wife. I have a fur baby, Rico. I work full time and I'm in school part time, finishing up my bachelor's for criminal justice with a concentration in human services.
Okay, girl.
Yeah.
It sounds good. So you forgot to leave out that you're a first-time homeowner.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm a first time homeowner.
How is the life, being a first-time homeowner? How is that for you?
It's exciting. It goes by really fast. Like we've already been in the house 2 years.
Wow.
So we love everything about it. We can do whatever we want to the house. It was a little scary at first, like getting into it.
Yeah.
Because we were 24 at the time. We didn't know nothing about it. But we just stepped out on faith and we did it and we still in it.
So that's what I wanted to talk about. Being a homeowner so young, when you told me that, I was automatically inspired. I was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Because I'm almost at that age and my mind is not even on owning a home. So what is it that made you say, okay, you know what, 24, I want to own a house?
Well, we were living together in an apartment and we knew we wanted to move out. So when you start looking at places that for rent, they were like the price of a mortgage. So I was like, why do that when we can buy and pay the same price? And it's actually going somewhere, you
Was
know.
it hard? Was it hard in the beginning stages of buying a house? As far as I know, a lot of people say your credit got to be at a certain amount,
Hmm.
and then you have to have a certain amount saved. I honestly
Yeah.
don't know much about it, but you hear different things from different people. So how was it for you? Was it hard getting everything situated to buy a house?
It wasn't hard to me. We went through the first time home buyers program.
Okay.
So they offer like a lot of assistance and guidance. Um, so yeah, they helped out a lot. It was a smooth process to me. Um, I don't know.
I'm
It
happy for you. Like that's a big accomplishment buying a house at 24. Girl, I was like, yeah, let me put her on my little role because I need to talk to her. Like I need that around. I need that kind of company around me.
Hey, look, it's a great accomplishment no matter
Right.
what age.
Exactly.
You
No,
know,
that's true. That's definitely
yeah,
true, no matter what age, because a lot of people go through different things. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But the reason why I looked at you in that light because we're kind of around the same age, and it was more so
Hmm.
if she could do it, I know I can do it. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yeah. So all right, let's get into the married life, girl. So
Okay.
how long have you guys been married?
2 years and like 4 months.
Has it been the best time of your life?
Of course, it has. It has been truly.
That's good. So, okay, what I want to ask you is before you got married, what route did you take? Because this comes up a lot with me and my fellow peers.
Hmm.
We have that debate of whether we should stay with the person before we marry them or remain living separate and date in that way and wait until we get married before we move in with each other. What was your take on that?
Well, of course, I moved in. um,
As we all do.
this is not to take from any other ladies who do it, who were thinking about doing it, but me personally, I would not do it again. Obviously, I'm married, but if I could go back, I would not have done that
Why?
because when you're dating, you're just dating. You're getting to know each other. You should be in your own space.
Right.
Um, because it just changes the dynamic of the relationship when you join together, like live together. You're actually signing up for like you're doing the duties of a
You're being a
wife.
pretend wife.
you
basically
know.
a
And
practical
look,
life.
everybody don't want to get married, so that's what I'm saying. It might not be for everybody. I'm just speaking for me.
The
That's
women
like,
and also for the women who want to get married and you know what I'm saying, doing
yeah,
who moves in with their partner in hopes of one day getting a ring, right?
right. I mean, it's nothing wrong with it. It's like to each his own. But
Right.
for me, we could have just like lived separately and still dated and came together at a later time and still, live happily ever after.
Well, that's good. Honestly, with me, I feel like you need to live with that person first because you get to know everything about them. I mean, I feel like it's like a long distance relationship, right? When you
Yeah,
come into town, it's like, I love you because I miss you. You're not really seeing everything about that person as far as their flaws, things that they do that may get on your nerves or the real them because you
right.
miss them so much that it's like, okay, let's just have fun. Versus when you live with somebody, I feel like you see everything. You see them when they're down. You see them
Yes,
when they're happy. You see them when they lose their job or if how they are around the house. Do they clean up? Like you
right.
see everything,
Everything.
and then you get to determine whether or not that's the person you want to spend the rest of your life with.
It's true. I mean,
That's
I
just
see it
my
from both
take on
ways.
it. But it's honestly, if you're a religious person, it's not God's way of doing it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And then that
And
was another
that's
thing too.
yeah. So
Yeah.
what is it like? Okay, being that you're a woman of God, when you was
Mhm.
living that way, as far as shacking up, what is it that made you say, you know what, I'm not doing the right thing. I need to move back home, or I need to do it different until I get married because what I'm not living right.
I was feeling bad about,
Girl,
the stuff that couples do. I would feel bad afterwards. Obviously, you gotta repent for that and ask
right.
for forgiveness and stuff. And like when you repent and turn away from something, you're not supposed to keep doing it. And like
Exactly.
I felt like, I was letting God down or taking advantage of him, constantly forgiving me if I was gonna keep doing, what I wasn't
Right.
supposed to be doing. Yeah.
Did you practice celibacy in between? Like, did you come to your partner and say, you know what, this is what I want to do until I'm married,
Hmm.
or yes, you did that?
We tried it, but when you lay next to each other every night, it's just
Oh, because I was gonna say because that's
like,
something that I hear. Like when I was in a situation a long time ago where what came to my partner because I knew it was wrong. I was like, I want to practice celibacy. I want to wait till I'm
hmm.
married. Da, da, da. And he was not with it. You know?
Really?
Yeah, he wasn't with it. He was like, oh, he basically was saying you can do it, but I'm not. You know?
What?
Yeah, and being that I was so young back then, I was like,
Hmm.
oh, I want to please him, so maybe I shouldn't do it right now. That kind of ordeal.
Right.
But now that my mindset is different, when me and my partner discuss things like that, it it was more of a supportive reaction than do what you want to do.
Right.
So I feel
He
like
definitely supported me when I
that's
said
good.
it. Yeah.
That's good. I'm so happy for you. So, Ty, it's not always all peaches and cream. Now, 2020 has done a lot of, I would say, harm for a lot of us, with the COVID-19 and people
Yeah.
losing their jobs and with the school situation. It's a lot. How
Hmm.
has this pandemic impacted you in your life?
Well, it's been going on for a while now, but when COVID first, hit here locally back in March, I guess, um, I was affected, and of course, my husband was affected by the virus. We both contracted it, um, and we are over it now, thank God. But when it first hit here, the numbers were really low. I mean, like probably under 50. It was
Yeah.
brand new. Um, and it was tough because we didn't know a lot about it, the virus. They still don't know a lot about it.
Right.
And it hit my husband worse than it did me, um, where he was like hospitalized and for like 41 days
Oh, girl.
and 12 of them on the ventilator. So,
And that's, whew,
yeah.
girl, that's what I wanted to talk about because I feel like your story is relatable to a lot of women going through that situation. Maybe it's not their
Hmm.
spouse, but it can be a loved one, such as their mother, their father, or
Yeah.
their child. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to ask you, what helped you get through that? Because when he was in the hospital, was you able to visit him?
No, not at all.
So basically, you were in a position where when he was being hospitalized and on a ventilator, you were waiting for the nurse to call you and keep you updated.
Correct. And I never knew what they were going to tell me.
How did you feel during those times? Like, you know, being that you couldn't have no one over your home, and
Nope.
everybody's busy and living their own life. How did you feel during that time when your husband was in a hospital fighting for his life?
I'll say like the first 3 days it was tough. Um, but for the first 3 days, I was able to have contact with him like through text message, and he'll call me. But like he was feeling so bad, and the medicine they was giving him was always making him sleepy. So we just talk like once a day. And then the final like fourth day, when I called him, he didn't answer. So I called his nurse's station. It was like, oh, we're about to intubate him, which is put him on a ventilator.
Yeah,
And I was like, I couldn't even process that, honestly. I
I
just
understand.
I couldn't believe it. But so when he was on it, like I said, those first 3 days was hard, and then the doctor had gave like a kind of bad report, I guess, like he was doing bad.
Yeah,
And at that point, I knew that I had to get stronger. I had to pray, and I had to have faith. And then after that, everything started looking up. Like when I stopped worrying and stuff,
mhm.
it everything just started working out. Every call from the nurse or the doctor was good. So I think it was just a test of my faith to see what was I gonna do.
See, Ty, I remember in the past when you told me, you said, Lonnie, it's not a testimony without the test. And that stuck
Right.
with me because I was like, that's a powerful statement. And you definitely have a testimony and you really was tested. So during that time, how deep, like, how did your faith come in apart? Like, was you praying more than you prayed before? Like, did you get a better relationship with God? Did it draw you closer to Him? What changed during this time of your husband in the hospital going through what he was going through?
So like before all this happened, like right before this happened, I had found a church that my cousin had told me. My cousin goes there, and she told
Hmm.
me to come to it. And I went to it the first time, and ever since I went to the first one, I just kept going back and going back every Sunday.
Okay.
So right then and there, God was already prepping me for what
Hmm.
was to come, and I didn't know it was coming. So when all of that happened, I was able to, reach out to the pastor of that church. He would reach out to me. We would be praying. Of course, I had like my family, friends, everybody praying. My faith is definitely stronger. I'm closer to God now than I've ever been. When I wasn't talking on the phone with somebody during that time, I was praying. I prayed every day, all day, every day. Um, Basically dug into, God's word and his promises to us.
Yeah.
Went through scriptures, wrote down like on little sticky notes and just put them around everywhere, girl. Anything to just keep me going, because I had to pray for strength
Right.
every day. So when I'll talk to people, they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, you sound so strong. Like you don't even sound like,
You going
he's
through
in."
anything?
You know what I'm saying? I like every day God was making me stronger, and I didn't even know it. You
That's
know.
amazing to hear, honestly, because sometimes we pray and we expect for a positive turnaround, but it doesn't always happen that way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
It's not all we don't always get what we ask for, and we question God like, why? Why is this happening to me? And we never get the answer to it. But I am a strong believer that God makes no mistakes. So the
Right.
fact that it turned around for you in a positive way, and your husband was able to come home, I'm happy for you in that situation. I wanted to ask you, when he came home, how did you feel, and like how did that change, knowing that life is short, and at any given moment one of us is not going to be here. Like, how did the relationship change in regards to knowing that and being scared like that?
We were definitely closer. And when he came home, it was like, that was a long 41 days, first of all.
That's a long time. Like, kudos to you, girl, because oh my goodness, like, you know, when you're so used to someone
Yes.
and then sleeping beside them, telling them about your day, and then it's like all of a sudden, you know, it's not like he's on a business trip. He's in a hospital and he's
Right.
basically fighting for his life. So you have a lot of strength.
I do.
I give you that. I really give you that. And
I
yeah,
did want to add that, you know, when I was praying, we was talking about faith and stuff. Like, when I at first I was praying, but like in the back of my head, I was still worrying. You
yeah,
know, like I wasn't fully trusting. So then once I prayed and left it alone, like, and I would like start to do things for myself, like maybe try to watch a funny movie or something like that. Like literally pray and let it go.
yeah.
That's when things really started.
That takes a lot of work, Ty.
For real, yes.
That takes a lot of work to like pray and not worry, because you always have that voice in the back of your mind, like,
Hmm.
what if it don't happen, or like, what if,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But the fact that
Yes.
you let it go and you say, you know what, God got this, He got my back. Whatever happens, I know it's the best interest of me. That
Hmm.
that takes a lot, you know. So
Well, you
what
know,
helped you get there?
every time the devil would tell me something, I'll just tell him to get out my head and get out my head. You know,
Go away.
constantly tell him, you know, he can't have my husband, he can't have my family. He
You
not
can't have
welcome
my
here.
faith.
Yeah, he can't have my faith, none of that. So I basically had to turn him down, tell him go mess with somebody else.
That's amazing. So, what is next for Ty? You know, knowing that life is short and you
Hmm.
know, tomorrow is not promised for any of us. What's next for you? You know, with the school and with your job, do you have any new ventures that you want to embark or take on, or are you still figuring out Ty and what you love? Like, what's the stage in your life right now?
Right now I'm just trying to finish school. That's
Okay.
like that's my priority, and you know, be there for my husband and my family. Um, just try to get through the rest of the year right now because there's still a lot going on.
It
So
is a lot going on.
yeah,
Has this pandemic and stay like being like having to stay home, has it been messing up with your momentum, like in regards to, you know, just you feel secluded, you can't go out with your friends for real? Do it
yeah,
bother you, or how has
of
it
course,
how is it
because
with
you know
some
we
people
used to
are
travel.
introverts, some people like staying home. It doesn't Some people it just is no it don't phase them. But I know for us people who's sociable and things like that, it's kind of like, dang, you know,
Yeah, it
it's depressing.
definitely impacts us because you know we like to travel, so we would have
Right.
been like 5 different places by now, at least like a little weekend trip or something, but we are just bound to this house.
Okay, yes. It's a lot, girl. What advice do you have to us young women out there and older women as well, in regards to marriage and patience? Because I'm sure you were patient. Um, did you ever have to question that though when you was waiting for the marriage to come? Did you ever question like, do he really love me? Or was it, you know, when the time is right, I'll be ready?
Mhm. um I didn't have to question it. I always knew, like, you know, he loved me. He was a stand-up guy. You know, when he made promises, he always came through. I
Mhm.
think it was more about being patient, like you said, and trusting that it will happen
Right.
with the right person though. Um, any advice, um, it's gonna be tough, you know, good and bad. I think we as women, we always want to be the strong one and just carry the weight of the world on our shoulders.
Yes, ma'am.
But recently I've been telling myself like it's okay to not be okay.
Mhm.
Like if somebody be like, you know, you all right, it's okay to say no. Like if you're not if you're not okay, you're just not okay. That don't make you any less stronger. um so, you know, don't be so hard on yourself. Just continue to push through every day, and whatever you want to do, you can do it. And you're never too old for this. Like we were talking about, the house and stuff. That's an accomplishment for anybody.
Yes.
And this pandemic has allowed us to become creative, like in our thoughts and stuff. So just do what you want. The time is now, because life is short. So don't keep putting stuff off, because you never do
Exactly.
it.
That's where this empowerment phase that I'm going through, that's where it came about. Like, I just want to empower women to
Mhm.
do what it is that you were put on this earth to do. You know what I'm saying? And then I also
Yeah.
believe that when women share their stories, it's a connection that's made with the viewers or with other women, because we talk a lot. We talk with each other a lot, and it's like, why not
Right.
share your story with other women so it can be relatable, and because we never know what that story might do to them in their life. It can motivate
Hmm.
them, it can inspire them, and you can also be that one to push them to move forward with whatever they have going on in their life. Ty, you overcame a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
With a lot of your blessings, your faith was tested, and in the end, you came out on top.
It's still being tested.
Still being tested.
It's always going to be tested.
Always, always.
Yeah.
But
So
the
expect that.
fact that you was able to keep it together a little,
Hmm.
it's amazing to see, because not a lot of us can do that. And not only did you stay strong for yourself, you stay strong for your husband.
Yeah, because like we
And
got, like, nobody could have told me 2 years ago when we got married, like, oh, in 2 years you're gonna experience this.
you can't prepare for it.
No, it just came out of nowhere. Like, we didn't even get to spend our anniversary together. He was in the hospital, even though he was off the ventilator. So thankful for that.
Yeah.
But we could have never saw that coming. So I think that's why our first year anniversary was so enjoyable. We had went out of town, and I surprised him with tickets to the Eagles, to
Oh,
tour the Eagles Stadium. I
you,
think that's why we had so much fun and enjoyed it, because the
yeah,
next year God knew,
you
like,
never
you
know.
know, we was gonna be
Never
going through
know what's
that.
gonna
So definitely cherishing special days even more now, birthdays, girl, every day with him. Because we almost didn't, see that.
Exactly. And also, when he came home, I know it was probably different for him, because it's a lot of things that he's used to, and then with the world changing, it's like, I
Hmm.
can't even do that no more. It's like
Right.
you had to still stay strong for him, and stay positive, and be like, honey, it's gonna get better. It's
Hmm.
just the time we in right now. Like, how is that for you? Is that do that seem like it's a lot on you, having to be that backbone and like keep your husband motivated, because it can be a lot, or was it just easy for you to do?
Um, it's not a lot. I just try to, continue to encourage him each and every day. Of course, it's hard to see, especially when you're like in that moment. Um, Seeing the light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing. But I do it more so for him and myself, because sometimes, I mean, I get discouraged too, so and you pray for that.
Yeah,
I ask God to let me be that for him. So
that's good. That's good. That's
yeah.
teamwork. Okay, that's that team. No, but Ty, thank you for coming on my show and just sharing that. I understand that's very personal. I mean, although some of us know the situation, and
Hmm.
getting COVID is not something that's brand new. People have been getting it a lot more lately. Um,
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your story, because you didn't have to let us know that he was on the ventilator and he was fighting for his life, and your life, what you was going through while he was in that situation. So thank you for sharing that, and I
Of
appreciate it.
course.
And I can't wait to interview you in the future and just see what life has in store for you, and what new adventures you've been embarking on, and things like that. So thank you, and we will talk soon, girl.
Thanks, girl, for having me.
Oh, look, thank you for saying thank you.
No, for real. Like, I think this platform that you have it's very therapeutic to women. You know, I've always believed in the swap. You know, back when, you know, you did your function,
Yes.
like, you know, it's all gonna manifest for you. I truly
Thank
believe
you. Thank you. And it's
that.
it's
Yeah.
it's not just, it's not for me. Like I'm doing this for other women. You know, I want them to share
Hmm.
their story. If they have a purpose, if they're embarking on different things, I want them to share it and I want to help them out. Because
Right.
I just feel like we have to stick together. And even on my first
Me
event,
too.
it took a lot of us to help me, like especially with you, you know, like helping me network, showing me buildings, you know, things like
Yeah.
that. It was very helpful and it made me accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. So I was like, you know what, if we had more things like this, a lot of women, it would be easier for them to do things that they have a passion for. So you know,
Right.
it's just the start of it. I see big things in the future, and I just want to thank you for
Absolutely.
saying those kind words. It means a lot, and it goes a long way. All right.
All right, girl.
See you later, girl.
Bye.
So, sis, tell me what's your plan?